Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our conjunction video of the week. And this week we're going to be covering our conjunction of Sun, Venus, Mars, and Jupiter. And what happens when Sun, Venus, Mars, and Jupiter are conjunct in your horoscope. That means they're in the same house and the same sign. And as always, if you do not know where this conjunction is in your horoscope, if you have this conjunction, what other conjunctions you have, all other planetary placements, for this, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, Astrology, Conjunction Aspects, and the Mahadashas at the Speed of Light, including all my consultations and reading at this link. So let's get started with our conjunction video. So Sun, as you know, represents authorities, father, ego, self-esteem, vitality, energy. It is like pretty much the entire CPU within us. It's our sun. Then you have Venus. Venus represents the woman, wife, arts, media, creativity, beauty, sensuality, romance, sweets, a lot of things. Female goddesses. You have Mars, the aggressive masculine energy, the soldier, the fighter, the athlete. Mars is simply our strength and energy. Mars represents engineering. Mars represents technology. Mars represents ink and writing. Then you also have Jupiter in this mix, which is a guru, teachers, counselor, advisors, not father, you can say a father, but it's a guru, it's higher knowledge, higher divine knowledge, religion, spirituality, So what happens when these four planets are conjunct in your horoscope? Well, for a particular person, especially a man, this can in one word signify a very powerful spouse, very powerful wife. And for a woman it's vice versa, a very powerful husband. Like somebody who just has this very dominating masculine energy regurgitating outside. Like for you, especially whenever you run into a relationship, you run into a relationship with people who are very what do you call ambitious, extremely authoritative. They're the type of people who always want to take charge of the situation. So naturally, a man early in his life may find a lot of frustration in a relationship. Why? Because you're running into women who are very dominating in nature and they want you to be the subservient one. For a woman, this will, because Jupiter is involved. See, Jupiter is the husband for a woman. Venus is a spouse for a female. And Venus is also the spouse in general for both man and woman. So definitely shows for both these individuals, for both man and woman, a very dominating spouse comes. This also shows that your father was naturally an extremely charming personality, very bold, very out-of-the-box personality. He looked at everything in a very creative manner, but at the same time may have had great inclination towards going into government and being a general, soldier, fighter in his days. Probably loved wrestling. Wrestling can come out of this. Because see, art, Venus is art, right? The fighting ability of Mars, the energy of Sun, and intelligence of Jupiter, the guidance of Jupiter, you can produce like a fighter, athlete, wrestler. And now you also have to understand in this dynamic, you have two gurus involved. Venus is a guru. Jupiter is a guru. One is a guru of the Asuras, one is a guru of the Devas. Now they're in one house. And Jupiter and Venus don't really like each other too much, because if you read the classical story of Jupiter and Venus, they are in a completely different path. This represents like a split personality between your fathers and gurus. You always tend to either run into two or more teachers or gurus in your life. One could be a male, one could be a female. One could be a very dharmic, strict person. One could be a very out-of-the-box, cool, weird person. Kind of like me, but I'm not a guru. So that can happen with this. But what you also will notice that the guru themselves will have two different split agendas in life, where you will see the split personality come out of the guru. And naturally, this is a combination of a person who can make a brilliant astrologer. Somebody who does very well in understanding the light of God. Because remember, sun is the source of astrology. Mars, which represents the bhumi, the horizon, the ascendant, is now involved in this conjunction as well. Venus, Jupiter represents astrology. Like Jupiter represents Parashara astrology, Venus represents Bhrigu astrology, Nadi astrology. So this can make a great a person who will be great at astrology, especially in like sign of Scorpio, Aquarius, sign of Cancer, Virgo. And then also you will see these people become great managers, very strict managers. Like from the age of 18, you can be working in a restaurant. Next thing you know, they're promoting you to supervisor, night shift supervisor, and you are on your way to becoming like a district manager. They make very good managers because they have the skills to manage a crowd like a general, to guide people, to inspire them to do good. Because the manager has to be able to take the project and get that project done while motivating the team. So a lot of management quality comes out with this conjunction. Especially if it occurs in the 5th house from your Karakamsha Lagna, it can make a person very good in management, logic, statistics, or hotel management. This also causes a very powerful Dhan Yoga as well. This causes Guru Mangal Yoga. This causes actually 2-3 different yogas. I never remember any of the yogas. I just see them and I know what the yoga is. But it's really a great yoga for prosperity. But one thing I will tell you with this conjunction of the planets is that the later you meet someone, the better it is for you. Especially if you meet somebody after the age of 28 or 32. You will have a much better time in relationship and marriage versus you meeting somebody beforehand, because they will be a hot-headed. There will be budding of the two gurus, Venus and Jupiter, and the heat of the sun, the heat of the Mars. I'm just letting you know, I've seen too many of these conjunctions where early relationships just would not work out because your ego is hot, the other person's ego is hot, and it's great for sex life. It's great for passion and lust. I mean, you'll have a great time being a bachelorette. But as soon as you get into a tight thing, this is where things will start juggling. You have to let these planets calm down. Because Sun matures at 25, Mars will mature at 28. Okay? So guys, this is my analysis of Jupiter or Sun, Venus, Mars, Jupiter conjunction. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. If you want to know where your sun is placed or all your conjunction, astrological details for that, check out the links here. Otherwise, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.